Hi everybody, we're back and welcome back to the channel. Today we're uncovering a very special and sensitive deep dive. We're going to travel back into the famous Pendulum Witch Trials of 1612, a chapter in history where fear and injustice silence many. Our intentions today is respectfully explore the story from a perspective of the group. So I'm doing a group one of the accused to give a voice of those who we denied is one. So I'm going to do a bit of a dowsing here, okay, first off, and I'm going to use the dowsing crystal that I used for when I travelled away. And the reasons why is got a little window. I investigated. I'll probably show you on another video, but it's got a tiny window which says that it can see the past and the future. So it done really well when I was away. So we'll give it a go. And we're going to ask who would like to speak for the whole group. Okay, and I'm going to go through the 10 people that was accused, of witchcraft, who died because of the witchcraft. So first port of call is we're going to go, can you show me a yes? Can you show me a yes? Thank you. Can you show me a no? Oh, wonderful. Maybe. So I'm going to call out a name, okay? Names who would like to speak for the whole group. So they're in agreement. Okay, so the first person that I'm going to ask is Anne Whiteley. Anne Whiteley, are you happy to speak with the group? No, can you see that? So she says no. Anne Redfern, Anne Redfern, would you be happy to speak with the group? No. Okay. All right. So Elizabeth Device, would you be happy to speak with the group? Let's try again. Elizabeth Device, would you be happy to speak with the group? She's around. I'm getting vibrations behind me, so I know spirit is around. It kind of said rephrase, so I'm wondering, are you gonna sort of stay in the background then, Elizabeth? Yes. Okay, so I think she's gonna be there, but she's gonna be around. Right. Okay. So we have done Alice Nutter, but out of respect, we're gonna ask Alice. Alice, would you like to speak for the group? No, I didn't think so either. I was just but I thought I'll ask out of respect. Oh God, I don't know if I can say this name. Okay, Alizon Device. Will you be happy to speak with the group? Not saying yes. Okay. So we've got two people. One, Elizabeth. That's interesting because we've got Elizabeth who sort of kind of took a step back, and this Alizon. Wonder if that's Alison. Is your name Alison or Alice? I'm saying yes. Okay. It's just the way it's pronounced. Okay. Thank you. Okay. James, would you be happy to speak for the group? It's kind of going yes and maybe. So the device side is willing to talk. They want to talk. I wonder which side of the family was that. Okay. All right. Catherine Hugh. Well, that's a definite no. Jane Bulcock. John Bulcock. No. Is that Isabel or Isabel? Robbery. No. So the device family is quite willing to speak in that. So, okay. That's how it's and there was it John Bulcock, wasn't it? Or Jane Bulcock? I can't remember now. All right, we're going to ask again. Jane Bulcock. Rephrase. John Bulcock. All right, so to me, I feel it's going to be to do with the device side of the family. They're going to speak for the whole group. Now, I know that there was like discrepancies with two family groups there, and so I've looked up, right? I've looked it up now. Interesting enough, like Janet device, who was the 9-year-old who put the accusations there. Now, when I done Alice's Nutters thing, I felt like the 9-year-old was influenced. I didn't feel it was like she was influenced around those circumstances. That's how I felt, and I felt there was a lot of jealousy and stuff that was going on at the time. So I feel like the device family wants to, come forward and speak out, which is really interesting. So yeah, you can look back on my other videos, right? So it's a bit ass backwards, but I just wanted to know. So we're going to go to the device family, right? And I'm just going to take the impression that it's going to be, this is like, for me, this video, these videos that I've done, it's like you're going down a rabbit hole, because the more you go into it, the more stories and alignments it comes up. So I ain't finished with the Pendulum Witches Trials. I'm not finished with it. I'm gonna do some other videos on this tarot readings, but obviously I'm not gonna do it I'm not gonna do it all in one go, so you'll get a mix now, but anyway, we digress. So we will ask the pendulum questions as well, just to confirm. So thank you for all that's come forward, and I thank you for the ones that are watching. Just gonna have to bear with me, because I've never really done anything. Well, obviously I've done the Alice and that, but I haven't really done like a group one, and this is quite new experience. So we're going to try it out. We're going to see what we get and go from there. I did do a dowsing on tarot, which was interesting because they they picked the Witch's Tarot, which Alice didn't want. Alice didn't want that. So we're going to do that. Okay, but we're going to go into their true spirit and the spark of accusations, right? This is section 1 of that. I have got other oracle cards around me that I dowsed and they were happy to use. So we're going to, you know, I'm going to do that as well, but we're just going to go with the flow. So be prepared, guys. Get yourself a cup of tea. Pause, get yourself a cup of tea. Sit down, relax, because this is going to be a long-winded reading. Or you can watch it in stages, or you can click to what you are interested in to know. So we're going to do section, I'll have it all time-stamped for you. So we're in section 1, their true spirit and the spark of accusations. So what was the true spirit of essence before the accusations began, or the event? What was the true spirit or as essence of the group before the accusations events began? I'm going to pull 3 cards because I feel 3 cards is like it can tell a bit of a story, whereas one, you know, yeah, pull out more information. So the true essence of before the accusation. I mean, we got the 8 of Swords and then the Page of Wands and then the Fool card. I would see that they were trying to, you know, the group was trying to break free, be a bit risky, spontaneous. So there was some event, there was something or some events that was occurring behind the scenes that was a bit risky business. There was something that could be could put them into an entrapment here. Yeah, we've got the Page of Wands, so that's like, you know, an inspiration. You know, could be that could be gossip, although it's not the Page of Swords, but it could lead to something more. Here was we was willing to take the risk. Now, I don't know if this is like talking with the Device family who was who was accused of witchery. I know that there was, you know, that they were known in the village at the time of like helping people and like herbs and stuff like that. So whether they're saying that we took the risks and break away from the mold, you know, and took the risk, but we weren't really thinking clearly of like that this could happen. It was more we did do spontaneous things. That's how it feels to me. There in that aspect. So let's see what we'll go into the thing. So am I correct in saying that there was a lot of risks going on around the time before the events occurred? Were you taking a bit more of a risk and trust? So was there elements of trust and risks? Yes. I'm getting yes. Okay. All right. So I mean, I would say, I mean, was the Device family practicing witches? Can you see? Was the Device family practicing witches or pagans? You know, like pagans and stuff. And I'm getting like breathing down my neck. The crystal saying, yeah, they were. But not in the way that others interpreted you. No. Okay. So give me more information on that. Give me more information on that. Oh, I must have done it wrong. Right. Now I know the history books saying that they used to do things to govern money. So it was like, this was to do with their work ethic and stuff. And that they took, I mean, that was reversed, but they took the opportunity when they did. I mean, there was so much fear going on back in them days, wasn't it? So I think we're doing the family. So the stories are like, I wouldn't say that they were like malicious or anything like that, but let's have a look. What was the true catalyst of underlying circumstances that led you to your accusations? What was the... Sorry, it's all some messed about. A lot of this was governed by money. I feel like a lot of this was governed by money. Wow. Because we've got the middle card with the 10 of Pentacles. The 3 of Wands was reversed. So there was a block. So I feel, right, with the event, there was some truth to they added on, you know, like gossip, they add on to what is true. So, you know, if I said I had a magical power, I can go invisible, I would add it, you know, it's someone, by the time it got round the street, it would say I was invincible, you know, so like Chinese whispers type of thing. And they used that as a weapon against them, I feel. It was, you know, I know there's a lot of in the history books and that, and I have watched a few documentaries and stuff like that, but you can see for yourself with the 10 of Pentacles, it was money. To me, it's money driven. It wasn't just, it was just a way of like enabling. It's just an enabler of what they did. Okay, tell me more. I'm going to ask what the King of Cups represents as well. Okay. Fulfillment. Again, that's governed, and flattery. The person that was doing the research, you know, when they were doing the investigation, he wanted I know he wanted to get like seen by the king, you know, so he's looking for that flattery aspect. Right, tell me who this King of Cups is. Tell me who this King of Cups is. Someone who's lost and broken. Someone who's lost and broken. This person has a negative influence in this circumstances that's going on. So it is like an abuse of power, you know. I've got me key things. So abuse of power. I'm going to say abuse of power. Trying to fulfill themselves, which would connect to these two lines. Okay, so I feel like the Device family saying there was some truth in what was being said, but it wasn't like the whole truth of the aspect. We were practicing witches, or like, you know, they had a belief that they could, you know, that they could heal or help, but it was interpreted in the wrong way. Okay, thank you. So I'm going to ask the crystal with the Device family, because they seem to be was the initial was the element malicious and deliberate injustice? So yes, was it malicious? So the young girl, I want to ask about the young girl a minute. Just bear with me, because I'm going to be flipping backwards and forwards. So Janet Device's testament, was it fixed? Was it a fix? Was it forced? Did Janet Device knew what she was doing? No. Wow. The influences of a 9, you know, for the 9-year-old, that must have been so devastating for her mum, you know, to see that and witness that her daughter was being used to that's just rotten. That's just evil. That's just evil through and through, innit? So okay, section 2. I'm gonna pause a minute. Okay, so section 2, we're doing the gripping justice of the evidence, right? So I'm going to put those cards, because I want to keep hold of them a minute. The weight of the accusations and all there, right? Okay. What was the emotions or energetic weight of the accusations? What was the emotional weight of the accusations for the Device family, the group, or the group? I bet they were absolutely devastated, you know. 4 cups. Empty. They were just running on empty. It's reversed, isn't it? Despair is another word that comes to mind when I look at this card. It's despair. It's what do we do? There's no way out. We haven't got a way out. of this this situation. We just have to wait. So I feel like the emotions was kind of numb. No one was really, you know, I wouldn't say none, because I suppose there was a few tears, you know, where they were held, but I just feel like a numbness, like it was just like there was silence, there was quiet. Maybe fearing what to say as well. How did they truly, I don't know if let's go through that. How did they truly experience the process of it all? It's a bit obvious, that one, isn't it? How did they truly experience the process of it all? Yeah, that's what I want to get to the bottom line. Okay. Five of Swords. There was an imbalance anyway, so no matter what they would have said, there was a point, it was a pointless task to them. So no matter what, you know, it was devastating to them. I feel like there may have been a few arguments between the group at the time, but I think as the time went on, it was more fearing for their lives than anything else, you know? That's the impression I've got. Did the group come together in the end? Did the group come together in the end? Was the group supportive of each other? Was the group supportive of each other? Yes and no. So was there some like disagreements in the group at first? And did that stop in the end? Did the disagreements stop in the end? No. It was like going around. Oh, you can't see it. Sorry. It was like going around and around, but not saying yes, not saying no. It was just like, just going around. So was there resentment in the group? Ooh. Was there resentment in the group? So I think few people spoke out. So there was like that element, because we have got the Five of Swords. That's why I was asking those questions. But like there was an imbalance of like, you know, where the voices comes to it. But I feel like there was a discernment here, you know, that it wasn't worth the arguments in the end. But I think you had a couple in the group that still was putting accusations there, you know. That could have been based on fear and being scared, you know, themselves, you know, or trying to prove matters to the end, you know, how our ego can get the better of us at times, you know. So, which, here we go, we're going to do a pendulum one again. So, was the pressure to conform, was there pressure to conform and confess? Yes. And did it impact others? Did it impact others too? So did they use tactics for you guys to go against each other? Well, that's a yes. Is that is this where the Five of Swords stands? So they used a lot of tactics. It's just mad, isn't it? We're so lucky nowadays to be able to be ourselves and express ourselves, you know, even though there's still some elements in the world of where we haven't got a voice in that, but it's nowhere near of the accusations that we get, what we got in the past at all. So tell me more about the order, putting things in order. It was almost like they wanted to tell a story, but they wanted it to fit into their dialogue of what they had accustomed to. Now I am going to look into the king, and I'm going to look into the person that was doing the investigation as well. I'm going to do a brief, not a long-winded one, but I am going to do like a character aspect on that in the future, I think. Okay, so what does the card reveal about the true nature of the evidence against the group? We've got the Ten of Swords. So there was no real clear evidence. It was all surmised. Look, no matter what way they would turn, they would have gone down anyway. We got the Page of Pentacles. Again, it was money. It became a money theme. So what started out as like an intrusion become more of a convenience for them, a place, you know, to put their order where it fits into their dialogue. So if the evidence, they would have gone down with it regardless. That's this is a tarot reading. This is not facts. This is not factual. This is just what I'm picking up in the reading. If you're a tarot reader and you're watching this, what do you see? You know, what do you think? You know, maybe you're that you're a person that knows the history better than I do. You know, I can store it. But that's the impression I'm getting from the Justice cards and the Ten of Swords, that they had no, you know, the true nature of the evidence was, you know, it was devastating, you know. So no matter what way they would have gone, there was going to be an injustice anyway. It was governed, you know, it was their truth, not the whole truth, but nothing but the truth, you know. It wasn't like that at all. So let's have a look, because obviously the Ten of Swords came up and I see that as false evidence. So does the Ten of Swords represent false evidence and accusations? And was it misleading? I just think that the court case was a farce, basically. Was it all a farce? Yeah, I ain't happy. It's just like damn like evil, isn't it? That's people's lives that you're messing with, you know. Right, we're gonna go into section 3. You wouldn't have noticed, but I'm back now. What I've done is put the cards together. I gave them a bit of a cleanse to do the section 3 aspect. Their stand and the unspoken truth. Okay, so their stand, what they held on to, which would be their inner strength, and and despair. So what inner strength did the group, you know, what was their inner strength as a group? What was the inner strength? We know we touched on Alice, which she said it was her, what she believed, you know, her, you know, believed in God, you know, believed in God and her faith and the trust and stuff like that. So let's see what the group, what was the inner strength for them? Their belief. And their despair. Okay, so what's their inner strength? The King of being secure of who, knowing who they were, who they are, and what they stand for. That's how I would see the governor of the King of Pentacles there. So regardless of what was going on, their inner strength was saying, I know who I am, and I know what I stand for, and no one can take that away from me. So their strength inside of them was quite, you know, they were quite strong aspects. Okay. Their belief, the Queen of Cups. So again, a bit like Alice, they held on to the roles of their belief that nurture inside of them. That was their I feel like that was their superpower there. You know? So I would say their beliefs made them strong, you know, that made them strong and holding themselves up. I mean, my God, I can't only imagine what those guys went through, you know? It's just awful, you know? Their despair. I don't want to say this, but I'm gonna. I feel it was like, when's it gonna end? It's gonna come to a final end. So I feel like their despair, you know, it was the despair of the waiting, not feeling acknowledged or listened to was the despair, even though within themselves they knew who they were and what their belief system was. Outside of it wasn't that it wasn't shown them to them. You know? So their final moments. I mean, we all handle things differently, don't we? That flowery's come out again. You've seen me, guys. I've shuffled the cards, and the same cards has got flattery doesn't get you anywhere. Discrimination, that no matter what you would do, you would never be recognized for who you are, which represents, you know, like the Ten of Swords, in the sense of like, well, it wouldn't have mattered anyway. We knew who we were. We knew what our element was, but we couldn't prove that, no, regardless. Outside influences, I would say that would be. So what was their greatest challenge? What was their greatest challenge that they were facing? Well, obviously, you know, but within them, within themselves. I mean, did they find peace, or did they, you know, what was the greatest challenge? Outcasted. I feel like that's outcasted. Feeling outcasted. Not having the support. We've got money cards again as well. It kind of lingered. Everything was lingering. But they knew they were coming to their final end regardless of what was going to be shown. It was the waiting. The waiting. And I can imagine, you imagine, like, you know, when we're waiting for something to come forward, fruitation, the frustration, you know, the fear, we're waiting for that doctor's note or whatever it is, you know, results, or, you know, the anguish, okay? So you imagine that tenfold of like they're waiting for it to be trialed and to be put, you know, laid to rest, basically. Okay. So, next question, the unspoken truth. What was the truly lost? So the story that was lost or suppressed by the history records. I feel this is money governed very much. You know, I know that there is talks and that. I mean, this is all conspiracy. This is not like factual evidence or anything like that. Is only surmised. But what was lost in the history records that you want to bring forward now in this reading? We were in, you know, I feel like family was very much, it was all about family. It was all about protecting their own, protecting their family. Things came very quickly. The news came very quickly. We got the Knight of Wands. So fast movement forward, where we had to sort of like protect ourselves and protect our family. So there was more outside influences that was creating problems for them. Okay, is this relevant to the accusations that came in? Is this relevant to the accusations that came in? And I've got them behind. I feel like I've got like spirit behind me. You know, when you get the hackle, you know, when the cat gets their hackles up, or the dog gets it. That's how I feel. Got me hackles up. But that's interesting with the Nine of Wands. I got me hackles up. You know. So there was a strong family member, could be female because we've got the lady here. that kind of was quite fiery person. Yeah, there was definitely more going behind the scenes. There was more issues going on than just these silly little accusations that happened. Okay? It transformed very quickly. It changed very quickly. I'm getting the feeling that in some respects, I don't know if there was runaways or someone had to run and hide. It became problematic, fearing for their lives, fearing. And there you got the full card again, where we were, which we took, that came up in the beginning of the reading. We had to take the risks. We had to take the risks to push forward. I wonder if there was some kind of, there was runaway or escape, some escape. I'm getting like there was a distraction as well. Needing to distract for a getaway. Okay. So what's the interpretations of the Five of Wands? What's the interpretations of the Five of Wands? I'm going to go the group and then outside influences. The group with the Five of Wands. Defense. There you go, which I said. Where is it? Where's the card? Defense. Having to defend themselves. So but then there was, like, they said that there was arguments between two families, neighbours. So I know that's in the history books. Is that what they're talking about? So outside influences. Let's have a look at outside influences. Outside influences. And I got my hackles up again. More. Oh, okay, I know you're there. So weird when that happens. Okay. It was almost like the outside influences was feeding on it. They were being inspired by all this. Not in a positive way. But not in a positive way. Criticism. We got criticism there. Riches. There we go. We got governed by money again. What the hell? What's money got to do with it? So there's like like an onion. There's layers and layers and layers going on here. That is missing the full whack of the story that hasn't come forward, which I don't think will ever come out, to be perfectly fair. Is there important unspoken truths about is there important unspoken truths about their story, about your story, that needs to be acknowledged today? Okay. So what message or voice do you wish what is it? What is the important unspoken truth that you wish to bring to the table today? The Empress card. It's almost like I want to say they built a legacy for themselves. And they worked hard in what they did. And that wasn't shown in the books. I know that they I might confuse the history, so apologize if I do, because I'm not very good when it comes to the terms, because there's so much to unpack. But I feel like these, the family that's stating that we were more secure and we had everything we needed, we worked hard. So there's something to do with money, and I don't think they was as poor as they, that others have said they were. I'm not saying that they were rich, but I'm saying that you got the Empress card and the Eight of Pentacles. Also, you could represent that this was all governed by money. This, which was going to illustrate. But I feel like they built a legacy up. They worked hard for it to fulfill their cup, and that was that has gone unnoticed in the history of the books. That's how I would interpret that. What do you think? Okay, in the reference. So tell me more about the Empress card. There we go, Ten of Swords. It was taken away. It was taken away. It was taken off of us. It was taken away from us. Did they have land of their own? Did they have something of their own? It was the family legacy, I feel. Look, the downfall becomes the downfall in the end. There's more to the family than meets the eye. High Priestess. So weird when this happens, isn't it? There's more to the family and the history books. So, I mean, did you have money? Did you have money? Yeah. And did you lose the money before all this happened? Did you lose money before this all happened? Don't want to say. Was the money taken away from you? Was your legacy taken away from you? It was almost like they were stripped down. That's just crazy, crazy, crazy mad. Crazy, crazy. So section 4, we've kind of done already. What other message would you like to give us? This is your chance to speak your mind. Say your, they're coming closer. What else do you want to say to us? I mean, it's all changed now, so we are free and we are secure. I see that as that we're free. Yeah, look at that. We're free from it all now. So I don't feel, well, don't quote me on that. But that's the impression I've got. Do you feel free, more free? Yeah. I don't know if you've seen that. I'll do it again. Do you feel more free now? Have you let go of the trauma of the trials? Yeah, no, maybe. Yeah, no. It kind of spins around then, doesn't it? So I think they've let go of it to a degree. But they wanted to sort of like say their story too. I mean, this is like this has come in a positive thing. It's almost call me a weirdo. I don't mind calling me a weirdo. But it's almost like I see the Four of Wands. It's like they're dancing in the moonlight, you know? It's just like they're kind of free of expression. So I feel like they do say like the place that they were is very mysterious and very spooky and very hauntery. But it's more they're I just feel more freedom. Yeah, I feel it's not like haunting in despair. I just feel like it's more they loved their home. They loved their foundation of their home. I feel we're diving more into that family. That's come up. The interestingly the others didn't. I don't know. I can't. I'm gonna have to look back. Maybe I'll do the other side of the family. Although they didn't really want to talk. But what I'm gonna do, guys, I'm gonna ask each individual person that passed what would be their if you know how they would like to be remembered through the tarot and oracle. I'm gonna do and the message what they would like to give us and see if they want to come through. If they don't, it's fine, it's cool, I understand, but let's see. Okay, so I'm going to be back. I'm going to pause a minute. So I'm going to start with Janet Device. I know she wasn't, but she was a 9-year-old. How does Janet Device, her mother can speak for her. So which is Elizabeth, how do you want Janet Device to be remembered? Or how do you want Janet Device to be remembered? On the message. Oh, that's just sad, isn't it? I feel like it was heartbreaking, is remembering that she was a child and that she did suffer too. She lost a mum at the end of the day, although she's with her mum now. That's how I feel with the Empress card coming in. But remembering that she suffered too, although she was, she put the testament up, I feel like there was a lot, she didn't understand what she was doing, and that kind of had a big, massive impact on her, her later on in years. Okay, so when she understood, you think the owl there. So once she understood, it had a really devastating impact on her. So yeah, it changed the dynamics for her. So that's how it's like, just remember she was just a child. Just remember that she was affected too. She lost her mum, so, and her brother and her sister, so there was a lot, she lost a lot of people. And she was just a child. She didn't understand. And I think she was I think it was very manipulated on her. I got that from Alice's, and I got that from this reading too. So take it as you will. Okay. So we're going to go down the list of Anne. Anne Whitney, how would you like to be remembered? How would you like to be remembered? I hope I've said your name right. And the message. I felt vulnerable. I felt scared. I felt vulnerable. I feared these men. I was scared. Was she a young person? I'll have to do the thing, but yeah, I was fearful. I was scared. Look, she's like, that card came up before about someone hiding, I wasn't how they made out to be. I was more scared of them than they were scared of me. Here, the message was that I'm free now. I feel a lot more free. I felt entrapment, but now I'm free. Her intuition was tested at that stage as well. But I would say she was more fearful of them than they were of her. And Red Fearman. And Red Fearman. Sorry if I'm saying these wrong. How do you want to be remembered? And your message. I feel Anne gave an awful lot in the time. She's got like 3 major arcana cards. So I feel she gave quite a lot to people, Again, she feels free now. She's free from it all. She completed a cycle that made changes. So I don't know if there was something that changed the aspects later down the line. I changed the world. I don't know what that represents. Who this and so I'm really good, isn't I, at this? but I changed the world. I changed the cycle, and now it's more freer. So take that for what you will. Elizabeth device, which would be the mum. So the Elizabeth device, how do you want to be remembered? She's around. Again, this is allegedly entertainment purposes only. The message. We got a lot of free aspects here. It was rigid. Again, it's like got that money. It was rigid. It was hard times. We had hard times. Again, we're going back to the loss here. And the recovery, you know, that. So again, we're talking about legacy again. So she wants to be remembered by her legacy. So there's something missing that there's something missing that's not in the books, in the history, that they've got wrong, or something that she's really strong in saying. She's trying to get that message across. There. Okay. So we've got Alice Nutter. We have done a reading on that, but I feel Alice is a part of the group, so I'm going to see what she comes up with here. We did do an Alice message, but let's see if like the part of the group. It's like she's in touch with her. I don't know, what was that message? That don't make sense to me. What does the King of Wands represent? Let's have a look. It's like, it's me, she's like bringing a bit of sense of humour. Give me a moment. So she's coming in as a king. I'm stronger than you think. I'm stronger than you give me credit for. She did have like a fiery energy about her. Okay. My cups are full, you know, so I fulfilled my cups. So again, it's like a completed cycle, isn't it? All right, thank you, Alice. Right, I'm not sure if is Alizon device. Alizon device. So how do you want to be remembered? Oh. She wants to claim that legacy of like that she was intuitive. She was, you know, she had that spiritual nature about her. There was more to her than meets the eye, okay? And she's took that with her. See, wizardry. I believe she feels she was very spiritually connected, you know, so there was elements there. Six of Swords. I mean, we've got the Six of Swords about moving on. Moved on now. don't confuse my legacy here. I still have 2 cups remaining. So does that... There's more to be uncovered. Ooh. Okay. Okay, thank you. Take that as you will. James Device. James Device. How would you like to be remembered? Like a star that was born. This guy, he was strong. He was a strong person. So even though the things was down, he's stood, you know, he kept his cool to the bitter end. He kept his harmony until the bitter end. He didn't allow death to consume him, or the fear of death to consume him. And so I don't feel like he outspokenly said things. I might be wrong here, but you know, but I feel like with the King of Swords, it's like he was confident in what and where he was at. So I don't feel he feared so much. I could be wrong. The message of not fearing what you strive upon, maybe. Okay. I don't know how old James was. Was he? Well, if he was a son, he'd have been quite young, wouldn't he? So, but then in the spirit aspect, it wouldn't make a difference, in it, when your essence, your soul essence. Okay. So how does Catherine Hewitt want to be remembered? There's elements of the past that she wants to bring up. Tell me more about the Six of Cups. I try to stay strong till the very end. The message. I took charge of my own self. I took my own lead on how it was going to end. Even though they decided the final ending, I took my lead. Okay. Jane Bulcock. Now that's the other side of the family. You know, the other side, the other family. How do you want to be remembered? Sorry if you could hear the noise. 10 of Cups. Family was important to me too. It created a lot of problems. But I was committed to the cause. So even through the stress and the anguish and that, I still tried to remain supportive. John Bulcock. I should have got their ages, didn't I? So, but how you want to be remembered. He's coming across as a wise one. About trusting the process, withholding your emotions, trusting the process, how I want to be remembered as the wise one, the cutting edge. I cut through the bullshit. I cut through all the crap. Okay, last person, Isabel Robbery. If I pronounce that right. I'm getting tired now, so I think we're going to call it a day after this. Isabel Robbery. I can't remember if I said the prayer at the end again. Oh, God. Tell you, my brain. Right, okay. I wasn't involved in this. I was minding my own bloody business. I wasn't literally involved in this. I just got caught up in this aspect. But I am free after all the destruction and the thing. So it did affect her soul, and I did feel that she was quite vulnerable there, but I'm free now. I'm free from it all. But just remember, I didn't want to be involved in it. I wasn't in the picture as such. Okay. It found me, basically. This found me. It was other people, outside influences that got me caught up. I wasn't fully involved. So what do you guys, I mean, it's such a sad story. I mean, there's so many trials and stuff, and it's such a sad story. What do you guys think of the reading? I wonder if it rang true to some of the history. I got a terrible memory, so I don't know all the facts. I got bits and pieces here. Do your own investigation by all means. If I got things wrong, let me know. But I found it very interesting doing the trials, and to try and interpretate their experiences. I am going to do some more investigations, more on the people that put the accusations there, and the dispute of the families. It looked like that the others, Jane and Bollock and all that lot, didn't really want to associate themselves to this, which is fine. So I'm not gonna push that, although I did sort of ask, what they would like to put their message across. But I hope you enjoyed the reading just as much as I did. I will timestamp it all. And yeah, it was a long ass reading, but it is, there's 10 people that was convicted of witchcraft, and they died because of it. Their life was taken away from them, not through their own choices. So, it is a sad part of history that we find. But it was, I'm gonna do a closing down, because I don't remember if I did or not. Yes, my brain. So I'm going to do it anyway. So I thank the divine for all the messages and insights received today. I am truly grateful for this guidance for everyone who's joined this reading. As I now close this sacred space, I send forth healing and blessings to you, to the world, and to all the beings. May we be blessed. And thank you for Spirit And for all the, if they came forward, like the witches, the people that got accused of the witches, I hope I'm glad that you're finding peace now. And yeah, till next time, I'll see you on the other side. Much love. Take care, and I'll see you soon.